On graduation day for Class 3, the air is filled with murmurs and the thought of how fast time flies. Students chatter excitedly about their futures, discussing plans for high school, like attending Shuei High for its cute uniforms. The chalkboard is covered in heartfelt graduation farewells. Amidst the celebration, one student, Mirai, sits silently at his desk. He is confronted by 3 classmates who ask why he isn't going on the graduation trip. Mirai, looking down, explains that his parents won't put up the money. His classmates ignore his answer, instead making their own plans for karaoke and laughing as they walk away. Later, Mirai walks alone, leaving the school grounds past the graduation banner. He enters a nearby convenience store and browses the snack aisle with a somber expression. His hand reaches out and takes a package of melon bread, which he quickly conceals inside his blazer pocket. After selecting another item, he quietly walks out of the store. Carrying his graduation diploma, Mirai walks alone to a tall, modern apartment building. He enters the lobby, where a man greets him by name. Ignoring the greeting, Mirai proceeds to an elevator and rides it to the 23rd floor. He passes a sign that clearly reads "No Roof Entry" and makes his way to the top of the building. Mirai stands on the absolute edge of the roof, looking down at the city far below. He says, "Okay," and closes his eyes, thinking, time to die. With the wind whipping past him, he wishes he could have been happy. He then leaps from the building. As he plummets toward the ground, pedestrians on the street below spot him, stopping and pointing up in shock. Mirai falls rapidly, his face caught in a wide-eyed expression as the sound of his descent echoes. Mirai's consciousness fades to black. He wonders if this is the afterlife, if time has passed, or if heaven and hell are real. He questions the point of dying if they are. Suddenly, he feels himself surrounded by floating white feathers, and his eyes open. He is falling, but his descent is stopped. He finds himself being held in mid-air by a girl with enormous white wings and a halo. What the? He thinks. Looking at the angel, he wonders if she's real and resigns himself to his fate, thinking, if I'm going to heaven, then I guess that's all right. The angel smiles at him, saying she's glad she made it in time. Mirai Kakehashi. A confused Mirai questions what she means. She explains that she caught him just above the ground, keeping him from dying, and tells him to look down. Mirai looks down and sees the street far below, with pedestrians walking by, oblivious to him and the angel floating high above. There's nobody, and nobody's raising a fuss. See? The angel says. Realization dawns on Mirai. Wait, I'm not dead, he thinks, followed by a disappointed sigh. Mirai reacts to the angel's presence with a hollow smirk. She smiles and introduces herself as his guardian angel. Unmoved, Mirai tells her to stop playing games and just drop him. The angel is shocked and refuses, holding him tighter and declaring that she came here to make him happy. At the word happy, Mirai scoffs. The angel reminds him of his final thought before he jumped, saying he wished he could have been happy. Mirai denies it, but even so, he says he's given up on that dream. He pleads with her, "Please let me die." The angel's expression softens with sadness. "I know," she says. "It's all been hopeless ever since that day." As Mirai's eyes widen in shock, the angel recounts his past. Everyone in your family died when you were 7, in a car accident. She describes how his aunt took him in, adding, "That's when your life of pain began." The angel details the horrific abuse, how his relatives treated him as lower than a slave, beating and kicking him for any reason, how he was forced to do all the chores and was fed only scraps from the school cafeteria. He was made to sleep in a storage closet and was never allowed to fight back. Now that you're out of middle school, the angel concludes, they want you to work and give them your paycheck, right? Mirai listens in dark silence, his painful memories laid bare. Still floating in the angel's arms, he expresses his despair. "There's nothing for me anywhere," he says, thinking of how he has no friends and no family. "It's all pointless. The only thing in life is pain." "That's exactly it," the angel exclaims. "That's why I, a special rank angel, am here to give you the hope to live." Mirai questions the word hope, and the angel explains it could be freedom or love. She describes freedom as the ability to go anywhere, not shackled like a slave, and love as finding people who will care for him like family. Mirai is skeptical, calling it ridiculous since he can't see or touch such things. "Well, you can see one of them already," the angel replies, spreading her giant wings. "These wings, they are the freedom to go wherever you want, capable of flying faster than the human eye can follow." She then offers him a choice for his hope to keep living, the wings or the arrow. She materializes a glowing red crystalline arrow. "This is the angel's arrow," she says. "Anyone pierced by this red arrow will be in love with you for 33 days. Isn't that lovely?" As Mirai processes the two choices, he thinks it feels like an occult sales scam. Overwhelmed, his only thought is, I don't want either. I just want to die. Mirai considers the angel's offer, then looks at her and states, give me both, and maybe I'll think about it. The angel smiles. I merely posed that question because it's the custom. Fine, I'll give you everything. Mirai is stunned. He quickly backtracks, insisting, no, I don't want either. I just want to die. I'll apologize and have her take it back. As he tries to protest, the angel releases him and raises her finger, declaring, then it's settled. Before Mirai can react, glowing rings of light appear and encircle his body. What is this? He yells as the rings solidify into a necklace and bracelet. The angel explains, your wings will come out of this angelic necklace and your arrows out of this bracelet. Now standing back on the rooftop, Mirai frantically pulls at the items. The angel informs him those angelic rings can't be removed. Panicking, Mirai protests. They're stuck? It makes no sense. The angel simply smiles. Don't worry, nobody else can see them. The angel explains that the items are invisible, adding, they're only visible to people with their own angels. Mirai is taken aback. You mean there are others like you, people with their own angels? The angel confirms this. Yep, sure are, at least until God is determined. This mention of God only adds to Mirai's confusion, but the angel brushes it off for later. Overwhelmed, Mirai collapses to his knees on the roof. The angel lands and cheerfully says, okay, let's give them a try. Still dejected, Mirai protests, I still don't. Wait, the angel instructs him. All you have to do is think about your wings or arrows and they'll appear. She repeatedly badgers him to go on. With a sigh, he stands up, holds his arms out, and reluctantly thinks, angel wings, come on out or something. The moment he does, the necklace on his back flares, and a massive, blinding explosion of light and power erupts from his back. A massive pair of enormous white wings bursts from Mirai's back. He stares at them in shock. They're huge. The angel admires them. You're gorgeous. She reassures him that the wings are invisible to ordinary people and won't hit anything, then cheerfully instructs him, now use them to fly. Mirai barely has a moment to process the thought, fly, before his new wings activate, launching him forcefully into the sky. He rockets upward, completely out of control, yelling uncontrollably. He continues to streak through the air, flailing in terror and screaming, what's going on? Mirai's initial terror turns to stunned awe as he soars gracefully high above the clouds. Wow, this is incredible, he thinks. He realizes this feeling is better than any dream of flying he's ever had. As he streaks through the night, he finds tears streaming down his face and wonders, why am I crying? His high-speed flight carries him across the ocean, and he finally lands on the spire of the Empire State Building in New York City. Standing with his wings spread, looking out over the glittering city and the vast starry sky, he thinks, so this is freedom. The angel lands behind him, remarking on the beautiful view. Well done for your first try, she says cheerfully as they sit on the roof. You weren't scared at all. Mirai replies dryly, well, I jumped off a building without knowing how to fly. Ignoring his tone, the angel continues, you move faster than the eye can see, so you can steal anything you want, whether it's bread or money. Mirai looks at her, shocked by the suggestion. The arrows are great too, she adds. You can control people's minds so that they love you. Mirai confronts the angel. You are an angel, right? But stealing and controlling people's minds are what a demon would suggest. The angel confirms she is a special rank angel and dismisses his concern. She reflects that demons don't exist, or if they do, it's inside the hearts of man. The angel seizes on his words. In that sense, maybe the demons actually existed within the hearts of your uncle and aunt who killed for their own greed. Mirai is stunned. They committed murder? Yes, the angel replies. Mirai reels from the accusation, shouting, what did you say? The angel explains, I've been watching all along, I know everything about you. As Mirai thinks of his aunt and uncle, he flinches, seeing ghostly, blood-stained images of them. What does that mean? He demands. The angel delivers the devastating truth. They killed your family and made it look like an accident. Mirai freezes, his eyes wide with horror. His mind is flooded with images of his smiling mother and his happy family, contrasted with the vision of his father's broken, bloody glasses, as he processes the single impossible thought, they killed my family? Mirai's mind reels from the angel's revelation. You're joking, he thinks. I was supposed to die today. What the hell does this all mean? He clutches his head in torment. I don't know what's what anymore. The angel insists it's true and tells him to use his arrows to check. Still in disbelief, Mirai looks at the glowing bracelet on his wrist. With a whoosh, they fly from the New York rooftop, arriving at a high-rise apartment building in Japan. Inside, Mirai's aunt is lounging on the sofa, smoking and watching TV. All these shows play out the same way, she complains. Suddenly, Mirai appears on her balcony. She is startled, dropping her cigarette. "What?" she yells. "First you're late, then you sneak up on me, you little creep." Mirai, his face grim, raises his hand. The red arrow materializes. "You falling in love with me is the last thing I want," Mirai says. "But here it goes." He fires the arrow. It shoots across the room and strikes his aunt in the chest, her shocked expression immediately melting into one of ecstatic rapture. The effect of the arrow is instantaneous. Mirai's aunt's anger melts into adoration, and she clings to him. "Oh, Mirai, sweetie, the truth is I love you so much." As the angel Nasi explains that the aunt will now do anything he says, Mirai cuts to the heart of the matter, his voice intense. "Did you and uncle kill my family?" The aunt's loving expression shatters into one of pure terror. She gasps. "I was against the idea. You have to believe me. It wasn't me." She breaks down completely, screaming and clutching her head. "My husband said we should do it. He's the one who planned it all." Mirai stares, his face pale with horror and tears in his eyes. "Are you serious?" he whispers. "Why?" The commotion rouses his uncle, who storms into the room complaining, "God, shut up already! A guy can't sleep like this." Seeing Mirai, he asks, "What's going on?" His wife, still hysterical, points directly at him. "He put me up to it," she shrieks, revealing the motive. "My father had a decent estate, but then he said that if my older brother, your father, died, it would all go to us." As his uncle stammers in denial, Mirai stands frozen, absorbing the full, horrifying truth. No way, Mirai thinks, his mind reeling as his aunt's confession tumbles out. How they knew his mother drove his father and little brother Akira every morning, so he did something to the car. His uncle growls, trying to silence her. Mirai flashes back to the day of the explosion. He was running back for his homework, and the boom that tore his family apart, an event his aunt and uncle watched alongside him. As the uncle grabs his wife, furious, Mirai stands numb. Why? The aunt's confession continues. He said that if he took you in, we could get the insurance payout. Mirai stares, his expression hollow as he remembers. They were nice to me at first, he thinks, but their attitude changed once they got the money. It was all for money. The memories of his abuse flood back, his uncle forcing his head to the floor, the coin on the ground, the constant thought, "You're the ones who should have died." This suppressed rage and anguish finally explode in the present. Tears streaming down his face, Mirai screams, "That's right. You're the ones who ought to die, not me." As his aunt roars and his uncle turns, the uncle's face suddenly freezes in shock, a sharp sound cutting through the air. The aunt, in her arrow-induced hysteria, grabs a kitchen knife and plunges it into her own neck width. Blood sprays as she stumbles, screaming, and then collapses to the floor. "Aunt, why?" Mirai stammers, his face pale with horror. He realizes, it's the red arrows? "It's because you told her she should die," the angel Nasi explains. "That's how deeply she fell in love with you. She did something so bad that she felt she needed to apologize for it." As Mirai panics, "We need to call an ambulance." Nasi stops him. "Who cares? She was partly responsible for your family's murder. She's dead. It's too late. I'm an angel, so I should know." Mirai stares at the body, the knife, and the blood. She's dead just like that. Someone has died. The horrific sight triggers the trauma of his past, and his mind is filled with the image of the burning car. "They died, Dad and Mom and my little brother Akira, they all died." Mirai kneels on the floor, his heart pounding as he stares at his aunt's body. She's dead. It's not a dream. Everything happening here is cold, hard reality. As he slumps to his knees, his angel Nase tries to get his attention. "See? Her angel has come," she says, pointing to a small, faint angel retrieving a spiritual form from the body. But Mirai doesn't see her. He is overwhelmed, clutching his chest, fixated on the hammering of his heart. "I'm in the real world. I'm living in reality. I'm alive." This profound moment triggers a vivid, warm memory of his mother. He sees her smiling, looking at a drawing he made. He hears her voice. Every human being is born for the sake of being happy and lives for the sake of being happier. The memory ends with his mother holding a photograph of him and his friends, her face full of love as she says, "So I want you to lead a very happy life, Mirai." His mother's words, combined with the cold, hard reality of his aunt's death, shatter Mirai's despair. He lets out a single, agonized scream. As Nasi watches, a profound realization washes over him. "I'm living. I can't be happy if I'm dead. I'm alive," he exclaimed. He realizes his suicide attempt was a mistake. He tried to die when what he really needed was to be happy. Looking at the horrific scene, he thinks, "What have I been doing all this time? I have to be happy for the rest of my family. That's right, Nasa says, smiling. You can be happy. No matter what your past is, every human being can be happy. I guarantee it, because I came here to make you happy, Mirai. Now on the floor, Mirai looks up at her, his expression filled with a new, desperate hope. Yes, he says, I want to be happy. The tension breaks. In a bright, calm moment, Mirai, now composed, kneels with his wings spread and looks up at his angel with a small, genuine smile. She floats before him and says, My name is Nasa, and I'm your angel, Mirai. The scene opens in a dark hotel room at night. Mirai is lying on a cot, his eyes closed and filled with distress, having difficulty sleeping. Nearby, the small angel, Nasi, sits quietly on the floor. As Mirai lies there, a memory surfaces. It's a bright, happy day in a park, where he is having a picnic with his family. His mother watches him draw and asks what he's working on. The young Mirai replies, Homework, and playfully refuses to show her, saying, I'll show you when I'm finished. His mother teases him, What is it? Let me see. But he shyly turns away, insisting, No, not yet. This idyllic memory is violently torn apart as the dream turns into a nightmare. A horrifying, distorted vision of his aunt's face rips open, screaming, Mirai, how dare you kill me? The dream flashes back to the traumatic event. A younger Mirai, holding a bloody knife, stands over his aunt's body, shouting, No, you're the ones who killed my family. The nightmare intensifies. The dying woman, impaled by the knife, gurgles and rips at her own clothes, shrieking, How dare you kill me? As the young Mirai watches in horror, she levels a final accusation. You didn't have a parent, so we took you in and raised you, and this is how you repay us. The terror reaches its peak, and a close-up of the present-day Mirai's eye, wide with fear, fills the view as he lets out a final scream as he wakes up violently, throwing himself from the cot onto the hotel room floor. He is left on his hands and knees, gasping for breath. In the background, the angel Nasi is also startled by the sudden outburst, letting out a sigh of her own. After waking from his nightmare, Mirai crouches on the hotel room floor, gasping. The digital clock on the table reads 21:25. The angel Nasa floats nearby, asking, Awake already? You didn't even sleep for an hour. Did you have a nightmare? Mirai, trembling, covers his face, thinking, I'm alive, before admitting, I'm fine now. Mirai sitting on the floor, leaning against the cot, as Nasa speaks to him. It's been 3 days, Mirai, she says, sitting on the floor as well. What are you thinking now? You shot the hotel person with one arrow and haven't used the arrows or wings since. She encourages him. Just go outside and use those tools to be happy, adding that since his uncle claimed his aunt killed herself, there's nothing to worry about. Mirai eventually moves to sit on the cot, counting the few coins he has on the table. This is all the money I have right now, he thinks. He acknowledges that he's only able to stay at the hotel, where the manager, under the arrow's influence, told him to stay as long as you like. Because of his powers, he reflects, Nase, you said that I can steal anything using the wings, and with the arrows I can control anyone's feelings. As Nasi confirms, right, Mirai's thoughts turn dark. I have to think carefully about how to use the wings and arrows. If I did, I'd be evil. But I don't feel any happiness from things I've stolen or tricked people out of. His back turned to Nas. He stares at the meager pile of coins on the table and reflects on his mother's words. Mom always said every human being is born for the sake of being happy, and every human being lives for the sake of being happier. The scene dissolves into a warm memory of the picnic. His mother smiles at him as she explains, in other words, unless everyone is happy, you cannot honestly be happy yourself. And unless you're happy, you cannot honestly celebrate the happiness of others. Don't you think so? The memory fades, leaving only the ethereal image of her smile as Mirai's thought concludes. That's what she'd say. Back in the hotel room, Nasi puts a finger to her chin and muses, She sounds like a good mother. Unless everyone is happy, huh? Mirai, now sitting on the floor, hunched over his few coins, thinks grimly, Some people feel their own happiness in comparison to others' misfortune. Beside him, Nase has her own internal monologue, continued speaking. I figured that if humans could get what they wanted with wings and arrows, they would be delighted. Her thoughts continue as a large, ethereal image of her face fills Mirai's mind. And I figured, if you became God, you'd be able to do whatever you wanted and be even happier. Mirai's head snaps up, shocked. God? He thinks. Nasi, floating in the room, realizes her omission. Oh, I didn't tell you? She brings her hands to her cheeks, exclaiming, Oh ho! I'm sorry! I was so desperate to stop you from committing suicide, I forgot to say. As Mirai stares at her, Nasi looks out the window at the city below and begins her explanation. Here's the deal. Nasi's explanation continues. You choose God out of 13 people. A grand symbolic image fills Mirai's mind. 13 human silhouettes standing before a divine crystal watched over by angels. Yes, Nasi's voiceover confirms, there are 13 candidates on Earth now, each with his or her own angel. They're given wings and arrows and told to use them as they please. Then the most appropriate candidate is chosen. She then adds, so I'm guessing you'll likely run into the other god candidates at some point. The information is so overwhelming that Mirai just lets out a dry laugh. Ha! I'm not joking, she said. He stood up and walked across the room. As he picks up a bag by the window, his mind races. Yeah, I get it. I know there are angels now, so there's probably a god too, but it's just too big to process. He looks at his meager belongings, thinking, I can barely even handle my own problems. What would make me feel like I can handle being God? Nasa floats beside him, issuing a stark warning. But if someone else ends up being chosen, you'll lose your wings and arrows. Don't you want to be happy, Mirai? She presses. Mirai pauses, looking at a sandwich in his hand. What, is that it? He asks. He looks down, thinking, happy. Before stating flatly, I'm fine with normal happiness, yeah. Nasa just stares at him, completely perplexed by this answer, and quietly repeats to herself, normal happiness? Mirai stands in the hotel room, phone in hand, and defines what normal happiness means to him. His thoughts visualize his simple goals. A place to sleep, food to eat, school to go to, and a job at a company. He then thinks of finding someone special and then someone to start a happy family with. A bright, warm memory of his family at the picnic flashes in his mind. I want what I had before I lost my family, he thinks. That's normal happiness. Nase, having heard him, clasps her hands together. All right, got it, she says. And my wish is for you to be happy, Mirai. As Mirai turns away, she quietly repeats his words, normal happiness. Mirai's expression shifts to one of resolve. In that case, the first thing is money, he decides. I'd better find myself a job quick. I guess I'll have no choice but to use my arrows for that. Suddenly, Nasi appears before him, glowing with an angelic light. With a beatific smile, she offers a horrifying solution. In that case, you should just kill your uncle and cousins. You were their adopted son, after all. Then all of their money will go to you, Mirai. Mirai freezes, his face contorting in pure shock as he yells, What? Mirai stares at Nasi in utter horror and disgust. What's wrong with you, Nasi? He shouts. You want me to kill them? Why would I kill people for money? I just told you I don't want to steal from people. Besides, that would just be the same thing they did. No, it's not the same at all, Nasi replies with a disturbingly sweet smile, clasping her hands. They killed your family to get that money. You're just taking it back, right? Mirai is stunned into silence. A brief flashback of his cousin's shocked face and his aunt's death flickers in his mind. Nasi continues her explanation, holding up a finger. The red arrow can make your uncle die just like it did your aunt. Well, the kids didn't do anything worth dying over, so I prefer they all commit suicide with the red arrow. At this, Mirai collapses onto the cot, burying his face in his hands as he thinks, but I didn't think she was actually going to die because of that. As Nasi states, but it is easy. Mirai's frustration boils over. He looks up and screams, Come on, stop it. Stop acting like it's so easy to just kill people. Unfazed, Nasi simply introduces a new topic. There are also white arrows inside the angelic bracelet I gave you. White arrows? Mirai repeats, confused, looking at his wrist. A brilliant, crystalline white arrow suddenly emerges from his hand. Mirai stares at it, his mouth falling open in shock, as Nasa's voice explains, Stab someone with a white arrow and they'll die right away. It's instantaneous and 100% guaranteed to be fatal. Mirai is left frozen, staring at the deadly weapon in horror. Mirai recoils in anger, the white arrow glowing in his hand. There are arrows to kill people? He shouts. You're kidding! Why would angels have something like this? It makes no sense. Yes, it does, Nasa replies calmly. These are the arrows of peaceful death, to help those who are fated to die pass without pain. Only special rank angels, she explains. You can use these to get your money back, and the people who tormented you will be no more, right? Mirai stares at the deadly arrow, speechless. Nasa, sensing his hesitation, asks, What do you think? Does this work better? Will you be delighted? Will this make you happy, Mirai? Mirai looks at her, his expression softening. I'm grateful to you for saving me, he says. You taught me that, Nasa. If you die, you can't be happy. He clenches his fist, the power of the red arrow swirling around it. But I don't need this white arrow that makes people die. I can use the red arrow to make my uncle turn himself in and pay for his crimes. Nasa looks uncertain. Well, if that's what you want, let's go and make him confess, Nasa says, turning to leave, being stopped. Hey, it's too late for today. He turns to a desk and looks at a school application. Tomorrow's the deadline for the secondary applications to high school. I'll do it after that. As Mirai sits at a computer, Nasi floats behind him, her expression downcast. I thought that would make Mirai happy, she thinks to herself. Suddenly, the computer monitor beeps. Mirai stares at the screen, his face filled with new shock. Huh? Nasa, what's this? Mirai and Nasi continue to watch the news report. It features an interview with Ms. Kanisawa, one of the 5 women linked to Tanma. With a blissful expression, she confirms, yes, we are in a relationship. He says he loves me best of all, and I love more than anyone too. The pundits on the show are baffled, calling it an appalling publicity stunt. Mirai watches, disturbed, thinking, this is how he chooses to use the arrows. The broadcast cuts back to Tanma's press conference, where he is laughing maniacally. It's like I'm already God, he boasts. Nase comments on this. It seems Mr. Rodriguez will spend his 33 days being loved. That's a valid way of using his tools. Mirai, confused, questions her. 33 days? He stands, wondering. But they wouldn't choose someone who uses them like that to be God, right? As Nasi thinks to herself, there are no rules about how to use the tools. Nasa then explains the 33-day rule of the red arrow. I told you that the arrows will bring you love for 33 days, she says, clarifying. You can only shoot someone with an arrow once. Otherwise, the 33-day limit means nothing. Mirai understands. I see, so you can only have their devotion for 33 days. Nasi adds the final condition. If you want that love to last forever, then you need to truly make them love you during those 33 days. As they watch, the TV show cuts to another pundit, Mr. Sato. As the host cuts him off, Mirai suddenly notices an angel, similar to Nasa, floating behind this man as well. This angel is silently fuming, thinking, how does a guy like this get all these babes? He's clearly a terrible person. I'm a much nicer man. Mirai stares at the screen, having just discovered another god candidate. Back in the hotel room, Mirai turns away from the television, his expression grim. I feel sorry for them, he says to Nasi. Is there any way to save them? And there's no way to protect against them? There is, Nasi replies. She explains the one loophole in the arrow's power. The arrow will always strike true, outside of one exception. The wings are faster than the arrows. She clarifies that the arrows can't catch someone escaping with angelic wings, which means it's not possible for normal people to get away. Mirai falls silent, absorbing this. The scene then cuts to the god candidate Tonma Rodriguez celebrating in the back of a car. He is surrounded by the 5 women he shot with his arrows, who are all fawning over him. I swear, these angel arrows are the best, he boasts, holding up a glowing red arrow. Forget being a stupid comedian. With these, I can have any woman I want, all at my command. His celebration is cut short when a figure in sleek, dark, high-tech armor appears at his window. Who the hell are you? Tonma asks, annoyed. What's with the costume? You filming something? Well, you got the wrong car. His smugness vanishes when the armored figure summons a red arrow of its own. Angel arrows? Tonma gasps in recognition. Hey, don't point it at me, he yells, but the figure's arrow suddenly changes from red to a deadly crystalline white. Huh? White? Tonma questions, but he has no time to react. A brilliant, blinding light explodes from his chest as the white arrow strikes him, his face frozen in a scream of pure, silent shock. The instant the white arrow strikes, Tonma Rodriguez's body begins to dissolve. He falls backward out of the limousine, and the red arrow he was holding disintegrates into dust. Inside the car, the armored figure, now in a red-tinted suit, retracts their hand as the white arrow fades, observing, oh, so he only had red. With a burst of speed, the figure vanishes from the scene. On the cold garage floor, Tonma lies dead, his eyes wide and blank. The moment he dies, the spell of the red arrow breaks. Inside the limo, the 5 women suddenly come to their senses, looking around in a daze. One asks, "Oh my God, what are we doing here?" Another cries. Realizing their situation and state of undress, panic sets in, and they all burst out of the car, screaming as they flee in terror. From a rooftop above, the armored figure watches the chaos. Looking down at Tonma's body, the figure scoffs, "Pathetic virgin amateur." The scene ends on the armored figure's final hypocritical pronouncement. Just because you have no success with the ladies doesn't mean you should ignore right and wrong. Sometime later, Mirai stands in a high school courtyard having just submitted his application. He tells Nasi he plans to study for the entrance exam. Nasi suggests he could just use a red arrow to get in, but Mirai refuses. "I want to get in on my own merit." Nasi then teases him. "But I bet you'd rather shoot someone else. You picked this school because she's going here, right?" Mirai blushes, realizing Nasi knows about his childhood crush, Saki Hanakago. As he walks away, still blushing and insisting he won't use an arrow for love, he overhears two students. "No way. It's true. He just up and died." Mirai is stunned. Tonrod's dead? He checks his phone and finds a news story about the comedian, Tonma Rodriguez, dying suddenly. Mirai's first reaction is dark satisfaction. "Wow, karma, that's hilarious!" But his expression quickly sobers as he thinks, sudden death. Nase, floating nearby, has a much more serious reaction. The sudden death of a god candidate was he murdered? She wonders, her face full of concern. The perspective shifts to introduce other god candidates. One, a man with wavy blonde hair, laughs. Quite fascinating, really. His angel suggests a plan as a white, crystalline arrow forms. Just kill them with a white arrow. The candidate's hand is shown as a white arrow materializes. This candidate thinks, kill 11 more, and I'll automatically be God. Their angel agrees. Yes, I believe this to be the most direct path to success. Elsewhere, the new candidate is shown now wearing a high-tech, full-body suit with a dark visor and a glowing Q on the chest. "Whoa, you sure this isn't a size too big for me?" he asks, flexing his new gloves. On a rooftop, this costumed man gives instructions to an associate in a beanie who is packing a suitcase. The suit wearer commands, 1 month from now at 3 in the morning, come alone to this rooftop again. With that, he leaps from the building and flies away thinking, and now I will wear this suit and become a god. The costume man watches, amazed. Whoa, he really flew away. Months pass, and on April 6th, Mirai is in Shinjuku. He has passed his exams and been accepted into high school. As he walks, he internally mulls over the new reality. 13 candidates, white arrows. Nasi, floating beside him, privately confirms her suspicion. Rodriguez was killed with a white arrow. Nasi cheerfully chats about how well Mirai's life is turning around. She flashes back to the aftermath of his aunt's death, gleefully recalling how he got his money back, found an apartment, and is now shopping for his new life, all without even needing to use a red arrow on his uncle, who is now catatonic. "Aren't things going great?" she beams. Mirai's response is flat. "Yeah, right." He admits to himself that he might have felt happy if it wasn't for Tonma Rodriguez's sudden death. Nasi agrees that this is a troubling issue. Their conversation is interrupted as they enter a large plaza, where a crowd is gathered, staring up at giant screens all broadcasting images of the mysterious new hero, Metropoliman. In the Shinjuku Plaza, Mirai and Nasi are transfixed by the screens. A live broadcast is featuring the costumed hero, Metropoliman. Mirai is stunned, asking, "Is it a rerun? A commercial?" The crowd around them buzzes with the news, confirming that the hero is real and has even been acknowledged by the police. Mirai thinks to himself, "I still can't believe it. I didn't think he was real." On the screens, the broadcast shifts to a formal interview. An interviewer confirms that the police have given Metropoliman an award. The hero, in his high-tech suit, addresses the public. "I will continue to fight evil and protect the peace." This confirms Mirai's worst fears. Is that real? A superhero in the human world? Impossible. The interview continues, with the host preparing to show footage of Metropoliman stopping a bank robbery earlier that day. The replay of the bank robbery begins on the screens. Metropoliman is shown appearing instantly, as if from nowhere, right in the middle of the police blockade. The crowd in Shinjuku gasps, with one person exclaiming, "That's so cool." Mirai, however, is frozen in shock. His shock turns to horror as the footage shows Metropoliman deploying a massive pair of angelic wings. Wings! This confirms his fear. Another god candidate? He thinks, staring at the screen. The broadcast cuts back to the live interview, where Metropoliman explains his actions. He states that the robbers had already killed 2 hostages and were threatening to kill more. He expresses deep regret for waiting 10 minutes to get police approval, a delay that cost 2 more lives. "I am sorry for that," he says. As the replay continues, now showing drone footage of Metropoliman approaching the bank, Nasi critiques the other candidate's methods. She whispers to Mirai that he was slow and should have just used his powers immediately, noting that he clearly used red arrows on the police anyway. But at least, she concedes, he's using his wings and arrows for good. Mirai says nothing, his face grim as he watches the screen. The screen plays the drone footage. Metropoliman walks calmly toward the bank, ignoring the robber's threats. One of the robbers opens fire with a handgun. "And you're gone!" the announcer cries as the footage shows Metropoliman moving faster than the bullet, instantly appearing in front of the gunman. "Holy crap!" Mirai exclaims. The scene turns gruesome as the ringleader robber suddenly shoots his own partner with a shotgun, killing him instantly. The Shinjuku crowd reacts with horror. The footage shows Metropoliman immediately stabbing the ringleader with a red arrow. In the live interview, Metropoliman explains this is where his failure began. He expresses regret for dodging the bullet, which he frames as cowardice that led to the first robber's death. The replay shows the ringleader scrambling back inside. "And that's when my anger reached its peak," Metropoliman says, as the footage shows him charging back into the bank. On the screen, the drone footage shows Metropoliman entering the bank. The ringleader, grinning, aims his shotgun and fires with a deafening shot. Mirai's eyes widen in horror as the replay immediately shows Metropoliman's counter. He fires a blindingly fast projectile from his wrist. "A white arrow!" Mirai thinks, as the arrow instantly strikes and kills the robber. The footage cuts to the crowd at the bank, who are cheering. The live interview resumes, with Metropoliman explaining his actions. He claims that as he dodged the shotgun blast, he had no choice but to use his special attack, which he calls Metropon. "Sadly," he says, "I was too desperate to restrain my power." In the Shinjuku crowd, Nase leans in and whispers the truth to Mirai. "You can't restrain the power of the white arrows. They're fatal." Mirai, his face grim, understands the deception. Exactly. He meant to kill from the very start. As Mirai tries to justify Metropoliman's actions, Nase begins to suspect he is the one who killed the other candidate, Rodriguez. The interview on the screen continues, with the host asking Metropoliman to state his purpose. In a dramatic declaration, Metropoliman points to the sky. "I am a messenger from heaven, sent here to defeat 12 foes." Mirai's face drains of color. What does he think he's doing? Metropoliman's form on the screen becomes an energized silhouette as he shouts a challenge. "I have already defeated one. You remaining 11 may come after me at any time." Mirai panics. He's totally insane. He instantly connects the one to the murdered Rodriguez. The crowd around them reacts with confusion, some dismissing it as a stunt, others believing it. Mirai desperately tries to rationalize. No, he said defeat, not kill, before realizing he's just trying to convince himself. Then a new, terrible realization hits him. He spins around and shouts at Nasi, "Back away from me, Nasi! Now!" He understands that standing around with an angel basically announces that he's a candidate. He immediately begins running, trying to lose himself in the crowd. As Mirai runs through the crowd, his mind is made up. "I can't afford to die." Elsewhere in the same plaza, Mira scans the area for an angel but sees none. He weighs the risks. "I can't be too careful." On the screens, Metropoliman waves goodbye and leaps into the sky to the cheers of the crowd. Mirai watches him go, a deep unease setting in. But there's something about that guy. Meanwhile, Metropoliman lands on a private, luxurious rooftop as his angel greets him. "You looked very good on TV." He reaches for his helmet. "Think so. It's all loose." He removes the helmet, revealing the face of a handsome, wavy-haired young man. He smiles. "School starts tomorrow. It's so cool that when I'm not a hero, I'm just a normal high schooler." Later that night, in his new, empty apartment, Mirai sits on the floor, rewatching Metropoliman's broadcast on his phone. He listens again to the challenge. "I am a messenger from heaven, sent here to defeat 12 foes. I have already defeated one. You remaining 11 may come after me at any time." He knows this will be the only thing on the news. He turns off the phone and lies in the dark, staring at the ceiling, the words 12 foes echoing in his mind. He turns to NASA. "It's pretty clear, right? He's planning on being God and will kill anyone who stands in his way." He sits up, staring at the glowing bracelet on his wrist. He looks at NASA, his voice filled with fear. "But I don't even want to be God. If I said go right ahead, would he spare my life?" Lying on his futon, Mirai makes a desperate request to NASA. "Remove me from my candidacy for God." He explains that since Metropoliman is clearly a candidate hunting his foes, he wants no part in it. "I don't want to die," he says. "That's not going to make me happy." Nasa replies, "Sorry." She explains that being removed from candidacy means turning in your wings and arrows. Mirai, not understanding the implication, says, "I don't care. You can have them." "That's not what I mean," Nasa clarifies. as a vision of Mirai dying appears. If you give back your wings and arrows, you'll die. The scene cuts briefly to the other light-haired god candidate, who is receiving the exact same explanation from his own angel. The angel's voiceover explains the rule. I gave you those wings and arrows to be your hope to live. Giving them up would mean giving up on life. The only reason you're alive now is because you accepted the wings and arrows of candidacy. In his apartment, Mirai slumps to the floor, defeated by this revelation. He is trapped. Yeah, figures. That makes sense. Mirai accepts that he is trapped, realizing it would be too convenient to give up his powers now after he's already used them. Nasi explains God's rule. Only humans who have lost all hope can be chosen as candidates. Mirai, dismissing the philosophy, apologizes and asks for practical information about the angels. Nasi clarifies the hierarchy. There are 3 special rank angels, like her, who grant all 3 powers. First rank angels grant wings and red arrows, while second rank grants either wings or red arrows. Mirai immediately realizes that Metropoliman's biggest threat, and his own, will be the other 2 special rank candidates. As he sits in his apartment, Nasa suggests, maybe you shouldn't go out in public. Mirai replies, I was just thinking the same thing. He looks at his new school uniform hanging on the wall. School starts today, and he can't go. He sinks to the floor, remembering his mother's words. Every human being lives for the sake of being happier. He reflects that when he decided to die, it was the happiest choice he could find at the time. He is left to wonder if his new happiest choice is to shut himself away in fear of Metropoliman. Mirai's fear gives way to resolve. He flashes back to the feeling of flying, the freedom not shackled like a slave. He remembers his vow to live. Or do I live without fear and brave the outdoors, he thinks. He stands up. I'll go to school. Nasi is shocked. She protests that it's too dangerous, but Mirai, packing his school bag, is firm. How am I going to be happy stuck in the same place like this? He tells Nasa she must stay behind so he won't be identified as a candidate. As long as I'm not seen using wings or arrows, I'll be fine, he explains. I can blend in at school and collect intel. His expression hardens. I don't want Metropoliman to steal my right to be happy. Even in the midst of this danger, I have to find the route to happiness. As dawn breaks over the city, Nasa looks at him with new understanding. When you put it that way, maybe you're right. Mirai gets dressed in his new school uniform. He instructs Nasa to stay in the apartment and keep her distance from him so he won't be exposed. She agrees, but reminds him she can come instantly if he whispers. She compliments his uniform, which flusters him. Nasa then whispers that he should use a red arrow on his crush, Saki, as soon as he gets to school. Mirai denies that's why he chose the school, but Nasi presses, yes, because you like her. She encourages him, explaining that the red arrows are Cupid's arrows, meant to make the person you love see you for who you are. Mirai hesitates. He tells her he was on the fence about even going to school, and that the decision was hard enough on its own without thinking about the arrows. I don't really want to use them now, he says. No. He thinks about the dead candidate, Rodriguez, and how he died because he was being too greedy. He then turns back to a confused Nasi, clarifying, that's not what I mean. Mirai explains to Nasi that he can't be so casual with the red arrow. He's seen what they're connected to. His aunt's suicide, Metropoliman's public execution, and the death of another arrow user, Rodriguez. He admits he might consider it if the love was forever, but not for 33 days. His other, more practical reason is that he can't risk Metropoliman seeing him use his powers. However, he affirms to himself that if he had to, he would use a red arrow on him without hesitation. He says goodbye to Nas, telling her to stay hidden, and leaves for school. He arrives at the bustling high school courtyard filled with students. As he walks, old anxieties surface. Hope I don't get picked on. But they are quickly replaced by a new, determined hope. He puts his hand to his chest, thinking, first, I'll be a normal high schooler. A fresh start. This is my next 3 years. As he stands in the yard, white feathers, invisible to everyone else, float down around him. As Mirai stands in the schoolyard, his hope for a fresh start is instantly shattered. He looks up and sees the source of the white feathers. A new, unfamiliar angel, glowing with a brilliant light. His blood runs cold. An angel, he thinks, realizing another god candidate must be right here in the same school. He immediately panics, trying to pass by normally and avoid eye contact, having the exact same reaction of pure panic, wondering, is it Metropoliman? Mirai's mind races. Oh, crap, but why would he be here? He desperately tries to calm himself, reasoning that since his own angel, Nasi, is not with him, There is no way for the other candidate to identify him. Settle down, he tells himself. Mirai's attempt to blend in fails instantly. The new angel floats directly in front of him, smiling. Too late. You saw me and reacted. The angel circles Mirai, who is frozen with fear, and notes, "You're really sweating." He hovers upside down, his gaze turning intense as he studies Mirai. "What's the matter? Feeling nervous?" the angel asks. Terrified, Mirai internally wonders who this angel's candidate could be. The angel reveals the answer. Another student at this school. Just like you and right behind you, in fact. Paralyzed by the news, Mirai slowly and stiffly turns his head to look with a dreadful stiff slowness. His blood runs cold as he braces himself to see a killer. Instead, his eyes land on the last person he ever expected, Saki Hanakago, his childhood crush, standing right behind him. "Saki?" he thinks, his mind unable to process the situation. The tense moment is shattered by her voice. "Kakehashi?" Saki asks, looking at him with simple, unthreatening confusion. Mira watches this confrontation, his own eyes wide with shock. Before Mirai can say a word, there is a blinding flash. In a single, horrifying instant, Saki's hand shoots forward. A red arrow materializes, plunging directly through Mirai's back and erupting from the center of his chest. He looks down at the glowing point, his face a mask of pure, uncomprehending shock.